Night shifts. For some, they are just a part of the job. Quiet hallways, empty streets, the slow passage of time before sunrise. But for others, the night brings something else. Something they can't explain, something that haunts them long after their shift is over. These are 3 real stories from night workers who wish they had never shown up for work. Jake had been working at the hospital morgue for 3 years. He was used to the silence, the cold metal drawers, the fluorescent lights that hummed softly in the background. But one night, something changed. It was past midnight when he finished processing a body, a man in his 60s who had died of a heart attack in room 304, routine paperwork, standard procedure. Jake wheeled the body into the refrigerated storage unit, slid it into place and locked the door. Then he heard it, a faint tap. He froze, his hand still gripping the metal handle. Another tap, this time louder. It was coming from inside the unit. Jake's first thought, air escaping from the bag, perfectly normal. But then, bang! A full-force knock against the door. The radio on Jake's hip crackled to life. Radio voice, "Jake, can you check on room 304? The patient just passed. His blood ran cold. He turned back toward the storage unit, the same one that was knocking from inside. The knocking stopped. Jake didn't sleep that day, and after that shift, he quit. Marcus had been working the night shift at a 24-hour gas station for nearly a year. Nothing ever happened, just the occasional late-night trucker, the hum of the fluorescent lights, the quiet drone of the security cameras. But then, there was him. At exactly 3:13 a.m., an elderly man walked in. He wore a brown jacket, faded jeans, and old boots covered in dust. He didn't say a word, just walked straight past Marcus and into the back aisle where the drinks were. Minutes passed. Too many minutes. Marcus glanced up at the security monitor. He could see the aisles, the entrance, the counter. But the old man wasn't there. Confused, Marcus stepped out from behind the register and walked down the aisle. Nothing. No one. It was as if the man had vanished. Then, beep, the automatic door. Marcus spun around, but the store was empty. The parking lot was empty. But the cold night air that seeped in through the door carried something else, the faint scent of dirt. Marcus checked the cameras again, rewinding the footage. He saw himself standing behind the counter. He saw himself looking up, but the old man was never there. There are places in every building that people avoid. Hallways that feel wrong, doors that no one really knows the purpose of. For Kevin, it was the basement storage room. He was a janitor at an office building, working the night shift alone. His last task was always the same. Check the basement, turn off the lights, lock the door. Simple. That night, as he walked down the concrete steps, his footsteps echoed against the walls. The air was thick with dust and something else. Something stale. He flicked the light switch. The single bulb overhead flickered and buzzed. As he stepped inside, the door swung shut behind him with a soft click. He froze. The air was suddenly heavy, like the pressure had changed. Then, the bulb above him flickered once, twice, and then went out. Kevin exhaled sharply, reaching for his flashlight. It clicked on, illuminating the room. His breath caught in his throat. There were footprints in the dust, not his. They led toward the door. Kevin turned, gripping the handle. Locked. He pushed harder. Nothing. A deep chill crawled up his spine. He wasn't alone. He pounded against the door. "Hey, open up!" No answer. Then, suddenly, the door swung open on its own. Kevin stumbled backward, flashlight trembling in his grip. A security guard stood outside, staring at him. "Why were you screaming?" Kevin's heart pounded in his chest. I wasn't screaming." The guard's face paled. But before Kevin could say anything else, the lights in the basement turned off, on their own. Some people say night shifts are peaceful. But when you're alone in the dark, are you really alone?